just to start, can you just tell us a little bit about the game last night for you and, kind of jumping in and jumping back in at center for the team?
Yeah. It was a tough one last night. Our execution, I think, kind of lacked. We needed to start fast. We didn't. And a lot of things didn't go our way, and a lot of that, falls on me going in there at center, getting everyone ID'd right, controlling everything up front. So just need a lot better. We'll learn from the film, move on to the Raiders.
This call will be recorded. This call is no longer being recorded.
What are you looking at just kind of for this team moving forward over the course of the next 2 games? Like, what are your kind of personal goals should you get more opportunities out there on the field?
Yeah, I think it's, just we have a lot of prideful guys in this locker room. I'm a prideful person. It's just all about finishing strong and leaving it all out on the field. It's obviously we're not where we want to be, and it's, all in the details at this point and just really finishing strong, playing for the guys in the locker room, playing for the coaches, and, giving it all we have.
Shane, you guys have had a couple games now with almost the entire offensive line intact where the run game still hasn't come together. What have you guys been able to identify or point to for why a couple of these last 2 games the run game hasn't worked that well?
I think it comes down to really just IDing guys, getting everyone on the same page, the preparation going into the game, just knowing exactly what we got, getting hats on hats, and I think there's been some lack of that, and it's something we got to continue to work on and continue to get better. Obviously, with new guys on the line, it's a challenge. We just got to full steam ahead, get dialed in with execution.
You had mentioned the team's goal to kind of start fast in this game. What do you think got in the way of being able to get that started?
I think it's hard to pinpoint something. I think we had a couple penalties kind of set us back early on where we can't have, and it's just negative plays, penalties, stuff that, pre-snap stuff, discipline stuff that we all, need to work on. It starts with me and myself, going into the game, starting fast, listening to the in-game corrections, and really just as a center, getting everyone lined up, tempo, everything.
It seemed like I think there was a statistic that showed that Spencer Rattler was under pressure like 52% of the time or something like that throughout the game. So nearly every other rep or however it is that you want to look at it. What is it that Green Bay did that made them so effective in the pass rush?
I think they were a good front, and I think also we a lot of it all comes down to like technique. Using our hands in pass protection, being inside out, firm in the middle of the pocket. It's technique stuff that we need to go back and work this week and get a good jump for the next week against the Raiders. But the Packers had a good front. All credit to them. But we have some technique stuff and some ID stuff that I got to get better at, and full steam ahead for the Raiders.
I was going to ask about the ID stuff. Thank you for bringing that up. Coach Rizzi kind of spoke about that in the first half last week as being an issue for the team as well. How does that sort of responsibility lay out in terms of improving? Where do you go to improve that ID and some of the mental side of the pre-snap diagnosis?
Yeah, I think it's we're getting multiple defenses. It's 3-4, 4-3, or 4-2 defenses, nickel defenses, where you really just got to be honed in on details of personnel for the defense. Every single time coming up on the ball, getting communication across the board, making sure everyone's on the same page, and really just honing in on the details of what the defense is giving us. And coaches do a really good job of putting us in the place to succeed, and really just got to hone in on that stuff. It comes down to, day one install stuff from training camp, and
I don't want to get to like a finger pointing situation or anything like that, but it's really just for edification and curiosity of how that process goes. So I'll ask it this way: how many players are responsible for or how many people hold the responsibility for IDing those situations, or does that change on a down by down basis?
I think that changes. I think we try to collectively as a unit work together to find, the IDs, get everyone on the same page, make the calls and everything. But as a center, I try to pride myself on being the guy who can set the table for the O-line and put us in the best ID standpoint and targeting standpoint moving forward for the play.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Hey, what stood out to you about how Spencer was handling everything when things weren't going ideally last night.
Yeah, I think Spence was steady the entire game. I didn't see any indecisiveness. I thought he had energy the entire game, and he led us. And we gotta be better around him.
How did you find Spencer Rattler sort of in his management of the huddle from first snap to the last snap of the game? Dealing with that much pressure, easy to kind of pinpoint and look at a rookie and say, oh, maybe he got frazzled. Did you see any signs of that, or did you see something different?
No, I didn't see anything different. I think that's one thing Spence is really good at, is he's the same person every day, every play, no matter the situation. And I respect him a lot for that, especially as a rookie. But at the same time, we got to be better around him and really, elevate his gameplay. It's collective as a unit. We got to have energy in the huddle. Center has energy in the huddle. Everyone's bringing juice in the huddle, and we go together. It's not on one guy. So, but I do respect that with Spence. He never changes. He's always the same guy, a steady Eddie kind of guy. And that's very cool to see as a young player.
Hey guys, if that's it, thank you very much. We'll have Coach Rizzi in a little over 2 hours.